A mercenary on guard duty noticed something eerie. All the lifeboats hanging on the ship suddenly snapped in half. Before he could react, his legs were severed by something unknown. Seeing the ship about to go out of control, he struggled to crawl away. As the ship slowly sailed over the invisible wires on the river, the silent massacre continued. At that moment, the captain finally sensed something was wrong. But when he looked outside, he was horrified to see that all the crew on the deck were dead. The next second, his body was also cut in half. Soon, the ship completely passed through the thin wires, and its body began to break apart one after another. At that moment, it was moving only by inertia. The moment the ship hit the shore, the huge vessel collapsed. Turns out, the people on the ship were Earth rebels. The governments of all the countries wanted to get rid of them and grab the hard drive with the 3-body info on the ship. They brought in military experts and tried everything they could think of, like using ball lightning. It's powerful, but it takes too long to work. The rebels would have time to destroy the hard drive if they saw it coming. When the experts were stuck, a young guy suggested using flying blades to cut the ship. These blades are super thin but strong, made of nanomaterials that can slice through metal easily. But the flying blades had a big problem. If the rebels were sleeping, they might avoid being cut, so it couldn't be done at night. It had to wait until daytime, when everyone on the ship was moving around or standing, with their heads more than 50 centimeters above the ground. That way, they could be sure to hit the targets. Because the super deadly weapon looked like a traditional Chinese musical instrument, the guzheng, the operation was named Operation Guzheng. To avoid harming innocent ships, each flying blade was tied with a regular steel wire and had a heavy steel ball attached to the end. When other ships passed by, they could just drop the steel balls into the river, and the flying blades would sink with them. When the last civilian ship left the waterway, the dozens of flying blades were pulled up together, and Operation Guzheng officially began. Soon, a huge ship slowly sailed toward the flying blades. It was the target, the Judgment Day, the base of ETO, the Earth's traitors. The captain sensed something was off ahead, but he saw nothing unusual on the radar or with his own eyes. He chewed a piece of gum, not knowing they had already entered a countdown to death. The flying blades were silent, nobody sensed the danger. The only sign was the sparks that flew when the thick steel hull was cut. Then came the scene at the beginning. The rebels on the ship were silently sliced to pieces one by one. The ETO leader hiding at the stern of the ship didn't know what was happening. Suddenly, a broken painting caught his attention. Before he could react, his jacket was cut in half. He looked down and saw a neat cut across his waist, the mark of the flying blade. He knew he had no chance of survival. He instinctively tried to destroy the 3-body hard drive, but as soon as he moved, his head was severed from his body. In just a few minutes, the giant ship was completely torn apart. It spread out on the shore like a stack of plates. Soon it turned into a junkyard of scrap metal. This was humanity's first victory in the fight against the 3-body civilization.